Welcome back. This is part 2 of video 8 and we're continuing looking at syllable stress, rhythm, and timing. I'd like you to start by taking a watch with a second hand or some other type of timer that does seconds and see how long it takes you to say sentence number 1 and sentence number 2. Do this a few times over. What you should notice is that sentence number 2 does not take twice as long as sentence number 1 to say. For some speakers they're approximately the same amount of time, and for others number 2 takes about half as much time again as sentence number 1. And the reason it's not double, despite the fact that it has double the number of syllables, is that English is not a syllable-based language, and the length of time it takes to say something depends on the number of stresses. As we mentioned, it's the stressed syllables that would make longer and louder and more prominent, and so each of these sentences takes about the same amount of time to say. That's if you're a native speaker of English. When you time your students saying such sentences, you can find that number 1 will take sometimes twice as long as it does for a native speaker, and then number 2 is very often double what number 1 would take. Of course, you'd change the sentence so that it was interesting for the students. Function words don't rate a beat. In English, function words or grammatical words are reduced to shorter, quieter syllables and don't alter the timing or the rhythm. So listen to me say number 1. Helen taught level 3 20 times before switching. So each word in number 1 is an important content word, and each one has a stressed syllable and takes time to say. I need you to compute each word in order to get my meaning. Listen again. Helen taught level 3 20 times before switching. The only word that is reduced there is before, which is a function word, but it's a 2-syllable function word, so it gets a little bit of prominence. Number 2 is a conditional sentence, and it has a lot of grammar words or function words. And so the content words there are switched, sooner, realized, liked, level, for, and well. And the rest of the words are reduced. So in my dialect of Canadian English, I would say, if she had switched sooner, she would have realized that she liked level 4 just as well. If she had switched sooner, she would have realized that she liked level 4 just as well. If she had switched sooner, she would have realized that she liked level 4 just as well. And you can hear the reduction on the function words, the linking between a number of the words, etc. Let's look at how rhythm is also tied to word stress. Listen to me say the following 4 sentences. Notice that there are 3 words in each one that take some content, and that they have a similar rhythm or beat structure. He's going to quit smoking. It's hard to give up smoking. It's a hard habit to break. He's never gotten far. Listen again. He's going to quit smoking. It's hard to give up smoking. It's a hard habit to break. He's never gotten far. So the stress syllable of each content word gets a beat in English. So students first need to know what a content word is, and then how to locate and apply syllable stress. And then if they keep focusing on that, their English will become more listenable or more closely matching the expectations for rhythm that people will have as native speaker listeners. So whether or not you feel that it's necessary to meet the expectations of native speakers for rhythm, or for students to be, or ESL learners to be more listenable in situations such as job interviews, you'll probably agree that learning these same concepts, syllable stress, content words, and rhythm, will naturally lead into intonation, which is crucial for communication and for preventing misunderstanding. So if we look at syllable stress and vowels and intonation, you'll notice that most of the syllable stress occurs on the stressed vowel, which by definition is always able to continue. Vowels are made with no or little obstruction of the air in the mouth, so if you say oo, ee, ah, that part of the syllable, the vowel part, is able to continue indefinitely if you have air or are able to continue producing the sound, whereas consonants are always obstructed in some way. It's the same stressing of the syllable that takes the feature of phrasal intonation. So no syllable stress by default equals no intonation, and that would definitely be a problem for communication. If you listen to me say 3 times, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" you notice the vowel, the syllable, the intonation, the rhythm all go together. So let's look at the levels of syllable stress that can occur within an English word. There's major stress, or the stressed syllable as it's often referred to, minor stress, which is a syllable that is somewhere between a major stress and an unstress, and then there's unstress, which is normally produced as schwa, and this is where there is no prominence whatsoever for that syllable. And we can quantify them as a 3, 2, and 1 in terms of a ratio on the word. So listen to the following words and see if you can hear these stress levels. Elastic. In the word elastic, we have a pattern 1, 3, 1. Tattoo, tattoo, tattoo. This is a pattern of a 2, 3. Catherine, Catherine, Catherine. This is a 3, 1 pattern. 13, 13, 13. This is a 1, 3 pattern. And 30, 30, 30 is a 3, 2 pattern. You can hear that the E on 30 is not completely reduced, but still has some of the E vowel sound. So we have 30 as a 3, 2. If you've ever had a problem not understanding a second language speaker when they're saying 17 or 70, it's always an issue of where the syllable stress has been placed. So I ask here, how does stress look? But it would be more appropriate probably to say, how does stress sound? The vowels in stressed syllables are longer, much longer than they are in an unstressed syllable, at least 3 times longer. They're louder so that you can hear them more clearly, and they can have a pitch change where the voice can go up or down. And if you listen to speakers of other languages, you can hear that they are missing often one of these variables. For example, a Swedish speaker will make the syllable longer but not louder, and then you have a sort of sweet affect on the voice. So if I say, can I have a kiss? I'm making have and kiss longer but not louder, and I have that sound. If an Arabic speaker, for example, makes the syllable louder but not longer, it can sound a little bit aggressive or a little bit unfriendly. So depending on the student's language background, you're going to have to decide what needs to be adjusted. A Mandarin Chinese speaker will make things a little bit louder and a little bit longer, but not enough for the English speaker's ears to pick up on the syllable stress. So you've got to listen to what your students are doing to know what to adjust, but all students will need to practice making in tandem syllables longer, louder, with a pitch change for the stressed syllable. Vowel sounds in totally unstressed syllables become schwa, and this is something that learners will have to practice. And look at the word sample I have there. Cottage, 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 cottage. So take a moment and find the content words and the major stress in each of the following sentences. I've done the first one for you. It has only one content word, which is doctor, and the stress syllable is the first one. So this is, she's a doctor, she's a doctor, she's a doctor, she's a doctor. Locate the rest of the stresses. Press pause for a second. Alright, so let's look at the results here. Sentence number 2. Always eat popcorn, watch, and TV. There are 5 content words. On always, it's the first syllable. It's a 3-2 pattern. On eat, it's clearly just one stressed syllable. Popcorn is a 3-2. Watch is right on the single syllable that occurs. And on TV, we have, let me just try it. Is it TV? I'm going to watch TV, or I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to watch TV. So it's a 2-3 pattern on that compound word. On the next sentence, we have nervous, mean, same, and anxious. So 4 words. Nervous is 3-1. Anxious is also 3-1. The next one, how do you pronounce bowls? We have pronounce and bowls. Pronounce is 1-3. Bowls is 3-1 with a schwa before the L sound. Do you believe in ghosts? We have believe and ghosts, and believe is a 1-3 pattern. It's always important in teaching pronunciation to move back and forth between bottom-up and top-down processing. You can work on the vowels and consonants. For example, if I were teaching the sentence, we have a slight problem, if a student was trying to say that, I could start with the I in slight and build up. So I, sly, slight, a slight problem, we have a slight problem. I could build up that way, or I could start with the sentence, we have a slight problem, do a backwards build up, working on problem, problem, slight problem, slight problem, a slight problem, a slight problem, a slight problem, a slight problem, we have a slight problem, we have a slight problem, so that the student gets practice at analyzing the part and the whole. Or I could start with discourse and talk about who, when, where, why, and how might the sentence occur, and then move into practicing it. So it's important to always to put sounds into context, because words taken out of context only have the potential for meaning. They actually do not have any except in the imagination of the person using them, which may or may not be shared. So the context is essential. Let's go back and look at rhythm and word stress again and where the beats fall in each sentence. So take a moment, pause the slide, examine each sentence, locate the content words, and if they're multi-syllable words, where the syllable stress is, and practice saying the sentences a few times so that you get a feel for the rhythm. And then start again and we'll go through them. Listen to number 1. I'm going to go to the show, I'm going to go to the show, I'm going to go to the show. You have go, go, and show, with show being the strongest there. It's hard to practice this skill, it's hard to practice this skill, it's hard to practice this skill. Again, you have hard, practice, and skill, practice being 2 syllables with a 3-1 pattern, practice. It's a waste of time to study, it's a waste of time to study, it's a waste of time to study, waste, time, and study being the content words, and study having a pattern of 3-2. We've never gotten along, we've never gotten along, we've never gotten along, never got and gotten and along, with never being a 3-1, gotten being a 3-1, possibly actually a 2-1 because it's not a strong verb, and along being a 1-2 or a 1-3. We've never gotten along, probably a 1-3.